With me being a creative, that's my vision, is to be able to have fresh things that we're known for, but also have the luxury of the fun and fresh vibes of changing things out seasonally, bringing in the best things.
And welcome to the Flat Bill Investors Podcast. I'm Josh Zaglaski.
And I'm Zach Spencer. Josh, it's another lovely episode that we're starting today, and I'm really, really excited about our guest. We've got a mom of three, two dogs.
Chip and Charles,
a dog mom, a real mom of some kids, background in real estate, some flipping and investing, a lot in design. And we're going to get into the restaurant side of things as well. We've got Jill here. Here we go. Can you see it?
The Lake Break.
The Lake Break, baby. Jill, welcome. Thank you for being here today.
Absolutely. So excited.
Yeah, we're pumped. We're pumped.
Yeah, we're pumped up.
I got to get my hat fitted. Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
Hot off the press.
There we go. I like it.
Got the captain look.
Get you ready for spring, like boating.
Yeah, this will be my
mood.
boat. There you go. The captain's hat. I like it. I love it. So great. Well, tell us a little bit about you, Jill.
I'm not from Utah. I grew up in the Midwest in a little town called Kenosha, Wisconsin. It's right on Lake Michigan.
Okay, cool.
Are you from Kenosha?
No.
It's like,
I was going to say,
I know I've seen it.
I'm like, what are the chances?
Yeah, no. I've seen Kenosha, though.
Okay, yeah, it's a greater suburb of Chicago,
Yeah.
about an hour away.
That's where I've seen it.
That'll play into this crazy boat restaurant a little bit, because I did actually grow up on the water around lighthouses and water and boats and all of
Nice.
that. The whole city's on the water. And so everyone's just a bit nautical. Everyone dad has a boat. And like summer, we'd go hang out on the boats and sing the boating community.
When did you move to Utah?
So I came out here for school when I actually graduated high school a year early. So I came out when I was 17 for college.
Oh, wow. That's cool. And what school did you go to?
Utah State.
Hey.
Logan.
Yeah. We
Went from-
Utah State plays today, 3.
Oh, do they?
I'm a big Aggie fan, so I grew up in Logan.
Oh, okay.
So there you
Great.
go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I went from one place that I thought was the coldest place ever into the place that debatably might be colder than Chicago. So.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to say.
Walking across the quad at 7 a.m. when the wind is
Chicago,
blowing.
yeah.
It is. Logan's chilly.
The thing is, like, the breeze off the lakes,
it's
all the Great
cold.
Lakes is so cold.
Yeah.
So
I was
cold,
going to
like
say
negative.
Yeah, I was going to say
20.
Logan's cold, but you can get
And
pretty
it's,
cold.
and it's a
over-
humid cold, too. So it's like what they say, it
The
goes right
wind.
into your bones.
Yeah.
You know?
Good.
So what were you going into, like, when you went to Utah State?
I always tell my kids this now. They're so lucky they have like the technology right at your hand. You can sit and look on your phone at different trades, whatever you want. But I was back when they sent you a catalog in the mail and you're sitting there looking through a catalog. And it didn't hit me till right then I had the catalog in my hands of what I actually was interested in. Every girlfriend of mine was elementary. They wanted to do elementary. And I think that's where I learned a lot right then and there that I didn't fit that mold. Not that I
Like
didn't
to
like
teach
children.
elementary school?
Yeah. They were like, nurse
sure.
or elementary. And I'm like, I don't like either of those. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
My dad is a businessman, so I did have like business interests, but it still didn't like dawn on me right then. I was flipping through and looking at all the different classes, and one of them was called fashion show. And I'm like, you can take a class for fashion show? Sign me up. So I signed up for fashion design. There's two of us in Logan that were going to school for fashion design.
Wow, yeah, there you
And I loved it. I mean, it was just amazing, but it dawned on me, a year and a half in during senior, actually came back, was doing a speech on what they were doing with their life now. They were at Walmart. I wasn't super impressed. So I pivoted right then and there into design because it was a little more stable and I was able to utilize some of the things I've already done and like business, so like marketing.
Cool.
Yeah.
And like product design or like clothing
Fashion design.
design. Yeah, wow, cool.
Like fashion design, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Is it like a 3-4 year degree?
It's a 4-year degree, yeah. But basically, it would be the degree to go like run a retail store or something like that. And I was kind of like, I'd want to be a buyer for like Nordstrom's. Logan's not the place for that.
No.
I needed to be in California or something. So I was like, I need to switch. Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Ended
go.
up 2 years moving to Salt Lake, moving to like the U, and take it a little more serious and doing design and marketing.
Cool. From there, where'd you go?
Well, this is where restaurant actually was born a little bit. I served tables. I worked at Marie Callender's on Foothills.
Okay.
Up like that. But it's not there
I
anymore.
was a Marie
but
Calendar busser back in the day.
Oh, everyone I
16 or
meet,
17.
like every 10th person I meet has a tie to Marie Callender's. They're like, I worked at Marie Callender's. I'm like,
And you'll never guess, I love their pies.
yeah, there you go.
There you go.
You know,
So I worked at Marie Callender's.
They're not
I
even
mean,
around anymore, like the actual restaurants, unfortunately.
no, I
I think the
know.
last one was in.
I mean, they sell
They had one in
frozen
Layton.
ones and
Yeah, they had
stuff.
one in Layton for a little while, and
Yeah,
That's the one I
that was
worked
like
at.
the brand new one. Yeah.
and it just closed down a couple years ago. So
You know, more modern market. But
So you serve tables there.
I just rolled into Salt Lake from Logan needing a job and literally rolled in like up for South past the university. Foothills was right there, went in, put an application in, got hired same day.
Nice.
Ended up Marie Callender's, serving tables, going to school for, like I was saying, design and marketing. And one of my regulars was a real estate broker. He'd come and get like pie and coffee and all that every day, like every day, every other day. Always tell me, you need to be a real estate agent. I'm like, going to school, you're crazy, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. By the end, I ended up,
he talked you into
And
it.
he was the broker.
yeah, he sponsored me.
Oh, that's cool.
And I didn't work one day with my degree and was in an office, a real estate office. So,
So I mean, I'm just doing the numbers in my head. So you're probably like 22 at the time, maybe
so I got my real estate. I was 21. Yeah.
21. Gotcha.
Bought my first condo in 6 months. Was my first flip. Didn't realize it at the time. Bought a place downtown. It used to be a dentist office. It was all I could afford. It was approved to like 115 or something. I was like, that or West Valley. So I was like, this could be cool.
Yeah,
If
nice.
we made it look better and added a third bedroom, made it super just chic, and was able to sell it in 2 years and pay off all my school debt. And
Yeah, you get the taste of that, and you go, oh, I could probably do some things in the design, and
yeah,
you kind of get your beak wet a little bit there.
yeah, just didn't even realize it. Just surviving, you know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Well, I mean, like when they say like one door closes, another one opens, right?
Yeah,
You know. So how long were you in real estate? Or I know you're still in real estate.
yeah. Still in real estate, 26 years.
And so since 21 to now. So then during this time, you got into the restaurant business. Well, actually, obviously, you got married.
Yeah.
I think you told me, you told us before that you walked into being a mother right when you got married.
Yep,
right?
my husband had a 4-year-old, so a little boy that I got to be around all the time. It was awesome.
Yeah,
That's cool. What kind of intrigued you to get in the restaurant business and start?
So that was
Daybreak?
so left field because I make fun. Oh, I worked at Encounters, but that was like my two. Like now, like when I'm going to get my SBA loan, and they're like, "Who has real estate experience? Who has restaurant experience? Who has management?" I'm like, "I worked at Marie Callender's." I mean, that was my ode to real estate
Sure.
or restaurant. And then I had real estate experience, but they don't care when you're opening a restaurant. They want to see restaurant experience. No, that was what got me out of the restaurant. I was like, I never want to work at a restaurant again. I still have like, like nightmares of smelling like whipped cream and pie. I remember the day.
Because I remember like I had the white
Yeah.
shirts, right? And I remember coming home like it just like this like residue.
Yes.
It's like, wait, I don't know if I even had whipped cream on my shoulder.
Dude, that was so
Yes.
crazy. And as you're saying that, though, I'm
So
like, there's
real.
got to be worse things to smell like when you come home from work. So actually coming home and smelling like whipped cream doesn't sound like the worst.
Well, I'm not going to go into
I think it's like
details.
old whipped cream.
But it's
Yeah,
just
I
like,
was going to say, I'm not going to go into details because I don't want to hurt Marie Callender's here, but
you're like, actually,
it's more like curdled cream.
it's
Yes.
like old. Yeah, okay.
You're in there.
Don't ruin my
No, it was good. It was good. Everything there's homemade. I can't say anything bad. But no, it was like one of those things where you're working because you're going to school. It was like a step, step. And then I remember the day I was in, because you had to go in these walk-in freezers, like so cold and just, and that was what made me say, okay, I'm going to go get my real estate license, call them like that moment. Okay, I'm all in. Let's do this. And quit, within a day or two. I was in real estate school and never looked back at wanting to do anything with a restaurant other than eating there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've always been, as an adult into like food and like foodie stuff and stuff, but nothing like that. And so the restaurant came completely left field and is actually more of my husband's doing than mine. Everyone thinks it was mine. It was my husband's idea. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
So
What's his background?
So Kevin, he actually, when I met him, he worked for Salt Lake County, like Parks and Rec.
Okay.
And he worked his way all the way up to like he was just right underneath the mayor, like management over all the Parks and Rec. It was 120,
it's gotta be, I was gonna say,
120
that sounds
parks
like a
or something
huge-
crazy.
yeah. I know what it takes, even in, I live in Hooper, so I live in a small
Yeah, I
town,
know
but even the parks there, like we've got a handful. I know it's like, it's a kind of
Well, obviously Salt Lake's the biggest.
yeah.
city.
So like,
Lake's huge.
so I'm like, I know what it takes to just see what these guys do on a
Yeah.
small scale, but being
So he
here,
was
One of my
from
neighbors was
Loftout
the city
and-
manager for Layton, and
Yeah.
really
yeah,
busy stuff.
Yeah.
You know how broad Salt Lake goes, so it's like Bluffdale. Well, even Copperton was like their
Oh,
furthest
wow.
one, over by the mines, all the way to by the zoo, the sunny side or whatever. So it was
Yeah,
a
tons of
broad,
parks,
and
yeah.
then under that also was snow plowing, like fertilizing, parks or trails. Sorry,
Yeah.
so there's like like a trails
Just tons,
department
yeah,
that he
tons.
worked closely with, and then special events like the county fair.
Yeah, I am really curious how lake break happens.
So
And was it before Lake Break happens?
Yeah.
Like, was it talked about for a few years before that or something? Or was it just on a whim?
yes and no. So just tiny backtrack. We flipped houses for a long time. So we're, kind of resilient with investments and things like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's not like completely left field for us to look at an investment. He is really good friends with Bam. He's the owner of the Break out in Daybreak in Salt Lake. That's
Okay.
like everybody knows who he is, like in that area where we
Yeah,
live.
nice.
He does like these golf tournaments every year. So my husband was really good friends with him through that, and they would do their little golf tournament.
Yeah.
So
like
the Break is it it's not a restaurant?
so it is a bar in Daybreak. So out in Daybreak, there was like nothing as a new community master planned, and he was like the first, rest bar.
Like, does it serve food or just alcohol?
So they
or-
do food too. Yeah, it's like
drinks,
hamburger. It's like a little like a sports bar,
Okay, cool.
because it's the only place like that. Like tons of people who don't even drink just like ride their bike there, get a hamburger. So it's like the community hub,
Yeah.
right? And he like pioneered that. So he was friends with him. I mean, we'd go there once in a while. We'd go to a concert or something, go visit, or he'd go golf and go visit. So my husband would come home probably 5-6 years before this, right after the golf tour, and be like, we should franchise a Break. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I just think he's just excited because they're golfing together and kind of scooted away. He's got like this pension. I'm like, we're not quitting everything to start this
Yeah.
bar. This guy knows what he's doing. I don't know anything about anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I'd be like, that's cool for him, And then he'd get really excited again the next year after it was this charity golf tournament, and he'd bring it up. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then finally we ended up going to Vegas. We had a mutual friend getting married, so I got to meet him more as like a businessman,
Yeah.
not my husband's golf partner. And also meet his wife and,
Nice.
really get into like what they've been doing. And it did plant a seed for me. I was like, wow, I'm really impressed with his story, how he literally had to get involved with politics at South Jordan just to bring the liquor into South Jordan.
Yeah,
at
I believe that.
point.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a huge like drinker or anything, so I didn't that just didn't like resonate with me. But I was
Yeah.
like, that's impressive.
Yeah,
Seeing
that's
like
a big deal in Utah.
yeah, like the businessman that he was, how many people like really like talked about this guy and like this business is awesome, really like was like, wow, this is awesome, He's an awesome guy. He's pioneered this. And but that was about it. And then 6 months after that, my husband came home and was like, he called me serious. He's only franchising one more. Like, seriously, like, I want to look into this. I was like, oh, I'm not getting out of this conversation. So I'm going to figure this out.
This has been
We got to figure this
years
out.
in the making then.
Yeah. My husband had early pension. So he was like on his mind if he was going to retire 5 years early or stick it out, like what was going to go on. And I think this was pushing him to want to look into it really bad.
Yeah.
I had this like, burn in my soul knowing that I want to support my husband to do something awesome. I didn't quite align with just the straight bar concept. Also, I knew it would not be in Daybreak, and I wanted to be by my home because
Yeah.
he's not going to have us be right next to him. I'm not
Yeah.
that dumb,
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, oh, we're going to have to drive to like Saratoga because that was kind of the concept of the next place. And nothing wrong with that, but just not I just wanted more lifestyle right next to where I was at.
Yeah.
If I was going to do a venture that big, literally there's like a lake right there in Daybreak, like
Yeah.
a man-made lake. And I walk it with my daughter, feed ducks, had been doing it for years, paddleboard. And I'm like, what if we built like this quasi bar, but it was a little bougier, it had wine and nice, a little, one upscale, more of the food, because there's 70,000 people in Daybreak. It's a growing community and it's
Yeah.
under commercial built.
For sure.
And not everybody fits this sports bar vibe. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's women that want to sandwich with their kids or whatever. And then also dads that would like to maybe have a beer but be with their wife and just,
Yeah.
that whole vibe. And so I was walking the lake with my daughter, and there was like the structure of this really awesome commercial building going right on the lake. And I was like, that is awesome. This spot's amazing. Like I knew real estate, I knew design, I knew this was the spot. So I took a picture of it and I said, if we can get this building, I'm all in.
Oh, wow. That's good.
And then he's like, why would he build in the Daybreak?
Yeah.
He's like 5 blocks away from him. That's crazy. And I'm like, well, because it's going to be different. It would be like complimentary. And he's like, okay, you know. And then we didn't really talk. And then the next day, he's like, I asked him. He said, it's awesome. He's all in. I'm like, really? This is crazy. Like,
yeah.
You know.
So cool.
And just like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I say just like that.
Well, when you have people that are like,
well, I was going to say overnight, but
when you're seeing taking this picture
2 years ago,
okay,
like
so
January was
we're talking about
winter.
like 2024.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's like, I think it's awesome idea. And I mean, he was enough of a visionary businessman knowing that if we didn't build right there, there's going to be a major corporation that would be his competition build right there. So he liked the idea of being a part of something. And he said he had enough clientele that would want something like that he felt like it could be a good partnership. So he's 5% like franchise we came up with on this and kind of just like wrote up the paperwork. Yep. I knew I had about half of what I needed. So then I text my good friend who is a real estate mogul and, you know, somebody I felt comfortable texting and was like, hey, remember 2 years ago when we were saying that'd be really cool to have kind of like a little bougie wine bar or something fun, like something more upscale in the South Valley? I was like, what if we built it? What if we did that? Yeah. And she took it serious. She was doing things. And by the end of the day, she came, looked at it, and she's like, yeah, it's a great location. So we had like our A team, you know, within 48 hours. And it was a hot real estate piece because actually it was Hopper's Grill in Midvale had it leased. So it wasn't even available.
Oh, wow.
That was the other crazy part. Oh. So I called him. I'm like, hey, I want this spot. He's like, too bad. We're literally building it out right now, but good. Yeah. Thanks for calling, you know. And I was so bummed because I had lined up everyone. I was like, oh, it's not even available. You know, now what am I going to do? Because I didn't want some brick building old downtown or anything like that. Yeah. And he called me back in a week and was like, if you're dead serious about that, I'm actually in a spot. I would sublease it to you. We've got one going downtown at the same time. We ran into some problems and I need to pivot.
You're talking to Hopper at this point.
Yeah, the Hopper Girls owner. And so I called them. I'm like, oh my gosh, he'll sublease it to us. But we had like 48 hours to get our financials in, we couldn't do due diligence. I mean, it was crazy. Yeah. Like I didn't know when I signed this 10-year lease with another option to extend if I could get my liquor license. But I felt strong enough that we could.
Now, I know a little bit about liquor licenses just from a business that I'm involved in. But does Utah have a beer and wine license that's apart from a liquor license? I know that.
Yeah, but I knew I needed like the full one just because we're coming off the break.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we need the full one just for the vibe.
Like leg forward that you had a partner that already was doing that or maybe knew who to call or.
I just thought it'd be that easy, but there's still the qualifications of us, background checks, and the location and the business plan. So
What's that time frame?
So you put in for it, and I mean we didn't dilly-dally. That was like the first thing we put in for, and we didn't get it until the day before our soft opening.
Oh my gosh.
That was called very white knuckle moment. Yeah.
I mean,
I had people trained, bartenders hired, and I didn't have a liquor license in my hand.
Wow.
Like, did you even have menus that showed like what type of drinks you were going to have?
All in.
I mean, so you thought you were getting it though. Were there any indications?
There was ways that
was there an indication
Is either
going to
be cocktails or mocktails?
Yeah, I told them to all be prepared to serve dry.
Yeah.
And we literally got the alcohol order mid soft opening.
Why do you think you got it the day before? Was it just the state? Were you pushing the state and you're like, hey, we're having a date on what was your date of opening? Soft.
The week before Christmas this year.
So let's say the 18th. So 18th. Are you telling the state like, hey, we want to open on the 18th? Like, do they know that?
Or are you literally just at their mercy?
Literally don't care.
Yeah.
Well, like, you're at their mercy.
Do they have an idea though of like they're going to be the 18th?
Yeah, but it's kind of like if you've done developing or need to go to the city for things, they only meet once a month, committees, stuff like that, and if you don't make the one, they push it to the next one.
Yeah, and then I can like call a special meeting just to like accommodate your
0% care. Yeah. Also, our deadlines for opening were predicated on other things too. Like, so I had Daybreak HOA, South Jordan City, business
there's a lot of-
licensing, and the DABs to all align. And it was we were supposed to open like May. It was the week before Christmas. Everyone's like, "You're crazy. Just stop. Open February." And I'm like, "Nope. We're paying this $17,000 a month lease with nobody in here. We're opening. We're having." Our partners are bringing their Christmas tree and we're opening,
You're like, this is happening.
Yeah, this is happening. So
I'm kind of curious because and the way you're talking is like there's what would you say the next competition is from where you're at? Is it not even close to like proximity wise?
like I said, the break is not our competition at all. Like we've done a
Well, he's
really
your
good
franchise partner.
Yeah, I mean it's competition in a sense. There's people that are going to
But
go
it's
over
not
there
the same
versus
menu.
us.
And
But it's not the same
it's not
menu.
the same demographic who's eating there
We've
all the
took
time.
his top. We analyzed his top like 20% he's selling and put it on our menu. Some comfort foods like his macaroni is supposed to be the best in state, like all those things. And then we elevated from there.
Okay.
So I would say we have actually the Oyster Bar down the street. We have got that mall, like there's a new mall in Mountain View corridor, and they were all our competition. They like all shut down in a week. So
You're doing all right. You feel all right.
I was like,
Where I'm going out with that question is like, what do you say your restaurant is better than them?
I would just say we offer more of a upscale, casual, fun environment with the actual view of the lake and more feminine options as well. A little more trendy, more like Hamptons, California, Florida vibe, and not so everything traditional.
Sure. It's great.
But
And
some
what
of
you
the,
just said basically is if someone said, "Hey, give me a 10 to 15-second elevator pitch on why the lake break is why to come to us."
yeah,
that's great.
lifestyle oriented first, fresh everything, of course, but just not quite as traditional as the Oyster Bar.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, we've talked a little bit about some, it sounds like you're just kind of hitting the surface in some of these like setbacks or potential setbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, was there any moment in that time between like deciding and opening that you were like, oh shit, this is not going to work?
Managing an SBA loan to build that type of a project is next level. Like I'm still disassociated from it.
You're like,
Yeah, because it is not conducive to what we needed, but I'm grateful for it, if that makes sense. And so SBA loan, everything's micromanaged to the nth degree. And then I've got contractors out there every day that are in real time moving and the money is not. So I was just jumping through loopholes to keep them funded and then constantly getting reimbursed. My partners were amazing because my husband could be out there managing the contractor. I could be managing design. This is where flipping came in huge.
Yeah,
I could
a
not
little
have
bit
done
of
it
that
having not
experience
done
came
anything
in.
like that. But they were a great support team because they could do the conversations with the bank to get reimbursements, keeping flowing.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So it was
nice.
So
Yeah.
being that it sounds like he took his pension, right? He
Yeah.
retired. So is this kind of his full-time thing, or is he kind of it's kind
Right
of
now he's owner, manager. We do have a GM. So we did hire like a GM, a
Nice.
chef,
That's
a
great.
sous chef. So he's kind of like a floating assistant manager,
Yeah. Nice.
which a lot of people are like, why would he not be the GM? But exactly like hire. Do you know who ended up being our GM?
No.
His top boss over him that he worked for 20 years at the county, they both put in their 2 weeks notice. And
Oh,
they're over
together.
there.
Right.
And that made me feel good because I know they are like operations.
Sure.
I was like, my operations are going to be strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And their team like Lake Break. So
Yeah,
I don't
that's
have
awesome.
to worry, like no one's
That's
like
great.
stealing alcohol or all these horror stories you hear because I'm like, I know I've got that trust in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see local establishments with a chef, sous chef, that they change up the menu a lot
Yeah.
because of that. Do you guys, is that something you guys do or kind of keep the same?
So, I mean, 100% like with it being lifestyle oriented, with me being a creative, that's my vision is to be able to have fresh things that we're known for, but also have the luxury of the fun and fresh vibes of changing things out seasonally,
Yeah.
bringing in the best things
Like
and
the
all of
pumpkin
that.
stuff during the fall.
Oh,
and-
100%. Yeah, our cocktail menu will be rotated.
That's cool.
Like some fun dishes. So our chef, that was another really cool story. He is from Vegas and was also private chef in St. George. And he moved out here for us. So he moved 6 months before we were even open while we were still building and
Wow.
believed in us. And that made me feel really good having those strong people.
How How many people does it seat?
The square footage without the patio is 5,000, but it's a big warehouse looking. Like the design was a challenge because it was like a big warehouse. I'm like, how do we make this more cozy?
Yeah.
One of the fun things about it is there's a whole upstairs that's like a little ode to the break more. That's sports bar, but it's nautical themed and a little like boating sports and golf and stuff like that. We do play all the games and UFC, but that fits about 40 people and it can be rented out for like events or meetings. I've had networking groups there, everything. And that I was able to market separately as 21 plus only. So that was really cool because that was one of my conflicts too, is I want people to feel comfortable no matter what the situation is and blend like a bunch of different things going on here. But I also want that kind of like cool spot that guys can go to. Yeah. That's why the break does so well, you know?
Nice.
And I don't want to be so dumb to not have that. And so we designed this really cool, like moody, it's like way more masculine, but girls love it up there too. But it's got its own little private bar and TVs and velvet booths. And it's just like a really fun spot.
I mean, I know it sounds like you've been able to take like just obviously it was years of like leading up to the whole thing, but just getting all the pieces to align and the timing to align and the liquor license and the partnerships and all that. So I mean, I'm really excited for you guys and I think it's awesome. I hope our listeners, if you're out by Daybreak, can run by and
so fun
and say, hey, I heard you on the podcast.
Do you want to say like an extra plug?
Well, I was going to say, so 40 upstairs, but we could do 150 the whole. The whole shebang. And then our patio seats an extra 75 and it's right on the lake. So that's the plug. We hadn't had the luxury of the patio. It will be opening in the next 30 days. And it's so beautiful to sit there. Do you do
like something on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights? That's kind of like maybe an extra plug for that.
So Tuesday nights we have live jazz. And
that's awesome.
There you go.
We do a Taco Tuesday, but
what
we have more
do you
like
play?
coastal.
Just kidding.
Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't conquered
Mariachi
that.
band.
I'm a karaoke. Oh, the guitar. So it's like jazz guitar, but we have these really great coastal tacos. So it's like halibut, like we get fresh. That's what I want to plug. Our fish flown in every day, fresh oysters, similar to our competitors.
Cool.
And so it's like fresh halibut tacos, fresh ahi tacos. Like I want people to feel like they just rolled out of Cancun off vacation and can still have that same vibe.
Yeah.
And we do have smoked pork and stuff for people who are like tons of options for non-seafood because I know so many people don't like seafood in Utah. And it's not that place where you're just pinned to seafood either, but we nail the seafood. And then we've got steaks, pasta, salads. We're rolling out brunch, like all the things. So it's super fun.
Well, make sure you make it there to Daybreak.
I know. It sounds like
to Lake.
Sounds like I know where we're gonna eat in a little bit. So
I definitely need to have you guys out.
Yeah. Thanks again, Jill.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Well, until next time, invest in your future.
Invest in yourself.
This is the Flat Bill Investors Podcast signing off.